Hi. This video is just a really quick one about experiencing knee discomfort in bridge pose, which is super common. And I think it comes from the accidental assumption that we have to have our feet in a certain place. So let's come to lie down on your back. So I have heard hundreds of times, and also like earlier on in my teaching career, I would have given this instruction as well, that when you are setting up for bridge pose, you lie down with your knees bent and you want to reach down with your hands and make sure that you can touch your heels with your fingertips. So for different proportion bodies, that's going to mean that your feet are in a different place. So if you maybe have perhaps longer arms and maybe a shorter torso or shorter legs, then that's going to mean that your heels are pretty far away from your bum. If you have perhaps shorter arms or a longer torso, that might mean that your feet are kind of way close in. So for me, I would like you to, if you've ever been given that instruction before, just try and put it out of your mind. And instead, when you're setting up for bridge, think, bend your knees, feet flat. You want your heels maybe about underneath your knees. That's where we're going to start with. Feet about hip width. Okay. And then come up bridge pose. So it might be that if you were working that make sure you can touch your fingertips to your heels instruction, then just not having done that now might have fixed your knee discomfort. If not, there's a couple of other things I want us to try. First of all, try taking your feet just a little bit further away from your bum. So maybe a couple of centimeters. If that's making it feel better, but it's not completely gone, try taking them a bit further. If that makes it feel worse, bring them back in again. Then remembering you can always just bring your hips down for a rest and maybe press pause before we move on. Another thing I want you to try is taking your feet just a tiny bit wider apart. If it's gone now, great. If it hasn't, the other thing I want you to try is just a little bit, so a few degrees. Try turning your feet to point out. So in this position, you can either think about swiveling on your heels and turning your toes out. For me, it feels easier to press the balls of my feet into the floor, and I just slightly turn my heels in. So it's not that I've got my feet turned way out like little duck feet, but they're just turned out a little bit. See how that feels? And then slowly come down. So the options we were working with were feet a bit further away from bum, feet a bit wider, and feet a little bit turned out. And you could do any one of those or any two or all three of them. If that's not cutting it, a couple of other things that you might try is perhaps sort of switching on more stuff in your legs. So come up into bridge. If you just found a position that worked better for your feet, great. If the pain is completely gone, you can just not rest, not watch any more of this video. If the pain hasn't gone yet, let's try putting something, maybe a block between your thighs and squeezing that. If that makes it feel better, but it's not completely gone, try squeezing harder. If that makes it feel worse, let's take it away. If it makes it feel worse, now I want you to imagine that there's something on the outside of your legs and you're pressing out against. Or if you've got a yoga strap, put a loop around your legs and press out strongly against it. If either one of those, let's come down. If either one of those has worked, great. Maybe do bridge your next few bridges using those props, and then see if you can start to get those bits of your legs switching on without the option, without using the props. So just imagine that you're squeezing a block, or imagine that you're pressing out against a strap. One last thing you may want to try, if all the different foot positions haven't helped and they're using the block or the strap around the legs hasn't helped, is come up to bridge. Don't come quite so high. Now press your feet into the floor and imagine you're trying to drag your feet towards your head. So that's going to tend to switch on more the back of your legs and take a little bit of load off the front side. Take an inhale, exhale, come down. So what I want you to take from this is that there's no particular one way that's the correct way for everyone to work a yoga pose. Everyone's body is different. We're put together in different ways, the way that our soft tissue, our bones. So we worked on moving your feet around, and we worked on trying to get different stuff in your body switched on to see if any of that could help or make any difference. Let me know how this has worked for you. You can pop a message in the comment, or you can send me a private message. And thank you for watching.